It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Naturalle Drea here. Welcome if you are new. We are continuing the makeup series with concealer, contouring, highlighting, and finishing the eye look. So if you watched the previous video, I demonstrated two different eyeshadow looks, a neutral and a bold. So now we're going to continue from there. So typically with concealer, you want to pick something that's a shade or two lighter than your foundation. I love Fenty Beauty's system because they give you your foundation and then they give you two options for a concealer shade. You can go a shade lighter or two shades lighter. So they're one of my favorite concealers to use. I have mine's in 410 because I am shade 420 in the Fenty. So this is typically a concealer I'll reach for. If you're more on a budget, e.l.f. has really great concealer, the Camo 16-hour Camo Concealer. I really like this one. I'm in Deep Cinnamon. This one comes off a little more neutral. I kind of like mine's golden. Or you can use Makeup Revolution concealer. They have really great concealers as well. And then my favorite is NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I absolutely love this one. So I think I'm going to use, what am I going to use? You know, I'm going to use Makeup Revolution today. So I have the shade 12.5. So typically after I finish my eyeshadow look, I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to zoom in just a tiny bit so you can see what I do with that. So typically when you conceal, you kind of want to accentuate, bring brightness underneath your eyes to help brighten them. And anywhere that light naturally hits you, you kind of want to put concealer there. Typically I put mine underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, in this section of my forehead, and on my chin, because light will naturally bounce off and make it look brighter, if you get what I'm saying. So we're going to start with the concealer. Oh, let me just put it on. So they all come with a little applicator. You can take it out of the thing and use a concealer brush, but I just typically just use this because it's there and it's easier to use. So I kind of start right in the corner of my eye and I kind of make like a sort of triangle. So I kind of go underneath the eye. I don't go all the way underneath because you're going to be blending it out. So, and I kind of like to go for a natural, if you want to contour your nose naturally, I learned this trick. You can put the concealer down towards your nose so it kind of makes your nose look a little slimmer. I kind of typically do that, and I kind of put that much. I don't... That boy's so loud. Whoever invented Fortnite, I want to talk to you because... Anyway, yeah, just apply the concealer here, and then I go down the center of my nose, the center of my forehead. I kind of do like 3. And then I do on my chin a little bit. So there are brushes you can use to blend it out. I typically like to use my sponge. Typically because I like, well, this is a special edition one, but most sponges have like a tip point so you can kind of get in your eye. And I kind of just take it and blend it out here. And that's how I do it. And blend it across. I see how you don't put too much. I don't like putting too much. I'm just not a big like... I get scared for putting too much makeup on because you can typically see that. So you kind of want to blend it out. And I kind of blend it down and spread it towards like the outside of my eye here. So you can see that's well blended. And I just continue blending. So we're going to set this concealer in just a second after I blend it all out. Typically that's what I do, just blend it all out. And some people put concealer around their nose. It's your preference of how you want to put the concealer, but it's just your preference. But this is just what I typically do. It works for me. So you need a setting powder for this. Fenty, I basically have mostly Fenty stuff, but they have really good setting powders. I have mine in honey. Who else has a really good setting powder? Just about basically Laura Mercier has a really good translucent setting powder. It depends on your complexion. I kind of use like a kind of yellowish one because I have a golden undertone. You can use like a translucent, like the it's white powder. It's translucent. You can use that as well. It depends on your complexion and your preference and how light or bright. Some people, you know, it depends. So what I use, you can use the sponge, but I like to use these little applicators, like these makeup sponges. You know, they come in like the big old pack. Used to use these back in the day. Some people still use them today. I use these for applying my setting powder. So wherever I put the concealer, that's where the setting powder is going to go. So I kind of dip my little makeup sponge in here, and you kind of want to press in, and don't be too, well, I kind of put a little bit too much, but we can fix that. So you kind of want to put the setting powder where you place that concealer, because you're kind of setting it in place. And this is called baking if you're unfamiliar with the term. Some people don't bake. Some people, you can press this in and blend it out. I kind of let it sit, and this is where the second part of my eyeshadow look comes in. So I kind of press it in, and then I take like the tip of it for the bridge of my nose and kind of go down the bridge, center of my nose, and then here where I put the other concealer, and then chin here. And I kind of just make sure it's evenly placed. It may look like a lot, but we'll be dusting this off soon, so. Oh, and also Beauty Bakery has amazing setting powders too. Black owned business, I love Beauty Bakery. They have amazing ones too, and AJ Crimson. So I let this sit for a few minutes. I look a little crazy, but it's okay. So now I'm going to finish off the eye look. I typically like to put shadow on the bottom lash line here. So where's my palette at? For that, I typically go in with a shader brush that looks like this. It's short. This is a Sigma E20, but a lot of, like e.l.f. has this, Morphe has this, whoever sells makeup brushes, they always have a shader brush. I just like to typically use this because it's small, it gets in that area, and it kind of compacts it. So for my neutral look here, what I typically do is go in with the darkest color here. Like the second color of my transition, I kind of use the same colors, or you can use whatever you want, to be honest, but just for a neutral look, I typically go, I'm going to kind of just shade bottom lash line. Ooh. And that's typically what I do. You can go as intense as you want, but I kind of like how that looks, so that's why I kind of do my eyeshadow in two parts. Because if I put it there and then I go in with the concealer and the setting powder, it's going to get lost in the sauce. So that's why I do this after I, you know, conceal and bake for a little bit. So then for the the bold look, I'm going to go in with the dark burgundy color. Actually, you know what? Let's do something a little different. If I can wipe this brush off somewhere. I'm going to go in with this blue underneath. I want to do something a little different here. As I said, you can do whatever you want. So I'm kind of looking in the mirror, but oh, you can still see what I'm doing. And you kind of want to kind of smudge that down here. It's getting in my eye a little bit. And see, it kind of brings us a little something different to that. And I've never used the blue in this palette. I've never used the blue or the green. I should do a look with them. And I kind of take it all the way to, well, kind of messed up a little bit there. And I typically would take that with this same shader brush. I kind of wipe it off on a napkin or something. I would take that shimmer color and I would put that on the inner corner here to give it like a nice, I kind of messed up a little bit there, but it's okay, we can fix that. So that is what I do. So then after I put the shadow on the bottom, I'm going to sweep away this powder. I typically use, where's my brush? This e.l.f. blush brush. You can use, there's brushes for everything. This is what I like to use. I don't use it for blush, I use it for sweeping away. So you kind of want to just kind of gently start, wherever you apply that powder, start sweeping it away. kind of like to do this. I get a little overboard because I'm going to make sure all the powder's gone. Just keep sweeping away. As you can see, it's more bright in those areas where I put the powder. So then after I do that, hopefully all the powder is gone. Because I get a little, I don't like to look too bright. You want to go in and set your foundation and set the face. So I like to use Sephora Micro Smooth powder. This is a really, really good one. This is in Deep. I absolutely love this one. I used to use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. There's a whole bunch of setting powders. Sometimes you can use the Fenty actually, if it comes in your shade, to set your face. But I kind of like to use the pressed ones. And you want to typically have a big fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M107. I like to use the Real Technique one, but all of them are dirty. So I'm going to use this Morphe one. You kind of want to swirl the brush and swirl. And I like to apply my powder wherever I did the highlight with, because I just, you know, it kind of tones it down a little bit because sometimes I get a little heavy-handed with that powder. So you just want to, and also you always want to set your foundation. So foundation set. So now we're going to move on to applying highlight and sort of contouring. So right back. Okay, when I used to do my makeup, I used to use the cream contour. That would be the step after I would apply my concealer. I would go with the cream contour, apply that, blend it out, and then I would set it with like a powder. Now I just use powder. I typically use my Fenty Beauty bronzer. This is in Cocoa Naughty. I just love the way this looks. You can use bronzer year round. Typically I would normally just use it in the summertime, but you can use it whenever you want. As I said, there's no rules to makeup. There's also, if you want this Black Radiance contour palette, this is amazing. It's a good drugstore brand. It's not expensive, and it comes with a highlight, a sculpt shade, and here's your contour shade. The sculpt shade, it kind of tells you where you can use, and I like this because it gives you a guide of where to use each powder. Absolutely love it. So this is another good one you can use. Everybody has like one of those highlighting contour kits, stuff like that. You just got to find the right shade for you. I typically like a warm brown. I don't like anything too harsh. And when I apply this, I like to use a angle brush like this. I think this is Morphe. There's no name on this, but typically any angle brush would do. So you kind of want to tap the powder. And contour is like, I'm trying to explain. Somewhere you want to sink, like, you know, you want more definition. So you want to darken so it gives more definition and pop, if you kind of do what I'm saying. But I kind of take it where underneath where I highlighted at, like below my cheekbone, I kind of, you know, brush up and down here. And that's where I would apply it. And then I would apply it to the perimeter of my forehead to bring some color back into. Just makes it look pretty. And then I would sometimes go underneath my chin here. And then I would squeeze the brush a little bit and go on the sides of my nose. You don't have to, but I do this. And then just make sure, you know, here. So kind of bring some color and some depth back too, because you just put one color foundation and then you just highlight it. You just need something to balance all that out. So next is highlighting, is using a shimmery. And I like to, a lot of people don't highlight anymore. I do. I like the look of it because I like to be extra and it's really pretty. And I just think it sets off the look, a certain look. So again, everybody has highlighters. Everybody has everything. e.l.f. has really good highlighters. They're very affordable. I love their products. This is an Apricot Glow. You can find e.l.f. in like Target, Walmart, any drugstore. Fenty Beauty has really good highlighters. There's Bobbi Brown, there's Anastasia Beverly Hills. ColourPop has really good highlighters. So it's typically like a shimmery shade, and highlighters come in like just about any color, but it's typically a shimmer shade. This is Trophy White. This is a real intense one. I'm not going to use this one, but it's one of my favorites. So I'm going to go in with this Apricot Glow because it's a subtle glow. And I like to use e.l.f. highlighting brush. There's a whole bunch of highlighting brushes out there, but I just like this one. That's what this one looks like. There's another one by Morphe that I can't find it. I think it's dirty, but it's a really, really good highlighting brush. So you want to take your highlighter, and the way I try to highlight is you see here where typically if you look in a mirror and where the light naturally bounces, that's where I would typically push my highlighter. Just above your cheekbone. I apply it on both sides, on the bridge of my nose, so you see where the light's kind of like naturally bouncing off of there. That's where I apply highlight. I will apply some here. So kind of want to tap in a little bit, and then just be careful and just kind of apply. Hopefully you can see, because this one's really subtle. I don't want to go too extra, but there's like, you know, there's golden ones, there's pink ones, there's peach, there's so many colors. Just find your preference of what looks good on your skin, because some highlights I can't use because they, like some golden ones are way too yellow, or they're too light and I don't like them. So, and you want to be careful. As you can see, the highlight there, it looks so pretty when the sun bounces off. So I kind of dust some on the tip of my nose, and this one's a little dirty, but a pencil brush is what I would like to use. You can use this in the inner corner of your eye. This cameraman, anyway, I was placing the highlight here in the middle of my nose, and I kind of like to put it on in the inner corner, even with both looks, because it looks really pretty. I like that. Kind of gives it something. And sometimes I like to apply highlight above my lip here. So that is it for concealing, contouring, highlighting, and setting the face. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, you're enjoying the series. Next is eyeliner and lashes, so, and mascara. So hopefully you're enjoying the series. Let me know down below some of your favorite makeup products. Until next time, guys, I will catch you in the next video. Bye!